cotton gin, steam engine, steamboat, steam locomotive, spinning machine, and sewing machine. What do all these inventions have in common? Anyone? Anyone?
They all have your mom in common.
Yeah, what he said.
No, sillies. They're all direct results of the Industrial Revolution.
But why do we even have to learn about this?
Because he said so, duh.
No, because it's important. It's one of the most significant revolutions in history.
More like significantly boring and useless.
Silence. The Industrial Revolution is the opposite of useless and boring. It began in England in the mid-1700s and is today considered as perhaps the most influential revolution. It expanded to neighboring countries and gave rise to crucial inventions.
But doesn't like everything come from China?
Like Naruto, Fo, Pokemon, and all of those other Japanese.
Well, China wasn't ready for this. Britain, on the other hand, had all the factors of production. For one, Britain had access to extensive amount of natural resources, was water power to fuel the new machines,
To fuel your mom.
iron ore to construct new tools, machines and buildings, rivers for inland transportation,
Wait. How do airplanes go on rivers?
harbors from which merchant ships could set sail from, but most importantly, there was a whole lot of coal. Secondly, aside from having an extensive amount of resources, Britain had a large population of workers and was economically and politically stable. And all of these factors of production aided in Britain's movement toward industrialization. As demand for British goods increased, merchants needed more cost-effective methods of production, which led to the rise of mechanization and factories. And just like that, Britain went from farms and an agrarian society to machines and industrialization. And dang, you guys got so quiet. I'm proud. Well then, with people practically throwing money at these inventions, it was only logical those inventions would actually work.
Ooh, me. Okay, isn't it like that British Thomas Edison made that light bulb, right?
No, Thomas Edison was from America.
But it was part of the Industrial Revolution, right?
No, but it was a direct improvement by Thomas Edison of the first electrical light by Humphrey Davy. The first electrical light was made during the Industrial Revolution. See how it's important now?
But how did it get to America? They didn't make flying cars yet.
It all started with the making of machines in the textile industry. One machine led to another, and the technological advances allowed other industries to thrive. See, Britain was being secretive and selfish, and didn't allow other countries to know about these secrets.
But Mommy always said to share.
Well, they did share, in an albeit illegal way. One man by the name of Samuel Slater, commonly known as Slater the Trader, smuggled a cotton sewing machine to America. From there, others also smuggled things to make a better profit for themselves in the still underdeveloped America. But the reason it thrived was the amazing way they traded. Do you know why we have amazing ways of communication and transportation these days?
Let me guess something else about this dumb revolution.
I will not tell you again to be quiet and listen. Okay, it's because Britain was able to use its abundant reserve of coal to power their locomotives and was able to use steam to power their boats. Pure genius.
Well, it doesn't compare to modern cell phones like OMG, hashtag learning about the Industrial Revolution.
What device do you think cell phones developed from, you little twerp? The telegraph was the father of phones, made during the Industrial Revolution. Samuel Morse developed the code that allowed for easy communication.
Well, that was a useless invention. But what about like clothes?
First of all, you don't know how lucky you are. Before the Industrial Revolution, most people had to wear torn and worn out clothes. The factories came along and produced clothes at a cheaper price. And secondly, these clothes happen to be in style.
Can I ask a question? Why did you become a teacher?
Because I love teaching, even if I get students like you. And that reminds me about another positive effect of the revolution. The revolution was able to give a lot of people jobs because of the growing industries and amount of factories.
If the Industrial Revolution was actually so great, did they not worry about pollution?
Despite the many positive effects, it caused some pretty terrible repercussions.
Like what?
Well, even though people benefited from actually working, the working conditions were horrendous. The working area was filthy and the machines were unsafe. It wasn't rare for someone to lose a finger.
Well, I'm lucky I'm not old enough to work.
Well, back then you would have been old enough to work, and just because you were a kid didn't mean that you had the easy jobs. In fact, children were more likely to suffer from machine-related injuries since their hands were so small to fit to tough spaces.
Well, but wouldn't the government at least pay for their medical bills?
Nope, there was no government aid for injuries. Also, people were not the only things getting hurt. A while ago, you asked about pollution. Well, the skies were so polluted that they were gray the entire time. City life expectancy was at a low 27 due to all the filth in the air and dangers at work.
Well, didn't you earn more if you were a private weaver or spinner than if you worked at a dirty company?
No, actually, you earn more money by joining a large industry because they sold clothes for low prices and they were able to produce a lot more in a little amount of time. Private weavers and spinners could never compete against these large industries.
So, basically everyone was miserable and died?
In the beginning, it felt that way. Many workers had minimum wages of $1. Children were dying left to right, and workers were expendable. You had to work to get an okay job. The only people who could possibly be happy were the corporation leaders and the wealthy middle class. That started to change, though.
Like in all the stories where the hero win?
Kind of, but the battle is still going on today. First, irreplaceable workers, skilled at their craft, started riots and unions because the boss couldn't fire them. Others joined and fought for the rights of children and women especially. Today, we have human rights that come directly from the revolution and are still going on today. Do you see the importance of the Industrial Revolution now?